Hello and welcome to the Super Gamecast. I hope you're having a wonderful Sunday. I know I am. About these other guys. Anyway,
Hey.
look, we'll get into it. But first of all, my name's Aaron Reynolds. I'm hosting the show. Bronson Fury is on the run to San Francisco. The federales have caught up with them, and
in the Denny's.
At the Denny's, and I'm looking forward to seeing him on the news. In the meantime. We have wielder of the banhammer, Emily Hulslander.
I can't wait to see that story.
And then we have Lucifer Kingsaber. How you do?
I'm doing pretty well. How about you?
Fine. It's whatever.
Oh, fine.
It's whatever.
Sure, let's go with that.
It's a day. I don't know if you noticed, for anyone who has been watching us for a long time, this is the first time I've hosted the stream in quite a bit. So we're going old school. We're going back to the format that we've been doing for years before we made the switch. So enjoy. With that in mind, we got some video game news to cover. That's what we do here. Despite my best efforts, we keep covering the video game news. And so we're gonna jump right into it. And the big one, I mean, there's a few big ones, but we've been doing this Super Gamecraft, or just Gamecraft as a whole. We've been doing this for 15, 16 years now. And we talk about the industry a lot, but the big thing we enjoy talking about is the console wars. We enjoy talking about what's going on with the consoles, how they're faring against each other, who's doing well, who is not doing well. Even just in the time of Super Gamecraft, you've seen us talk about Sony versus Microsoft to death. And guess what? We're not stopping. It's not stopping at all. So first off, let's start off with this news story. The games industry, quote, will only have room for one non-Nintendo console next gen, it's claimed. So this is a gaming research group, DFC Intelligence, and they did a little market report. This is what they do. They just do video game market reports. And I got to be honest, like I was looking at their website, and other than seeing AI art, which is super cool, I don't know. They just seem like whatever. It seemed like they know what they're doing. It seems like what they do. And honestly, the forecast that they put out is not shocking. It is, hey, Nintendo is going to be on top probably because they're getting. It's the same thing that happened with the Switch, where they got out earlier and with their console, so that the other two can release at the same time, and then consumers have to pick which one they want to support first because we only have so much money. And so if you look at this graph we got on here, let me see if I can. Yeah, that's good. Hey, guess what? Nintendo will continue to rise. We got this. If they come close to matching what the Switch was and what the Switch delivered, that seems right to me. But the question is, who's going to get left out, quote unquote?
That was going to be my question.
Yeah.
Who's going to be the odd man?
So they don't say. I'm going to put out a challenge to say, hey, let's see if we can hold our tongues for the next 4 stories I'm going to read before we predict who. Because we got news stories, for small or large, from all 3 this week. So we're going to go through them all, and we're going to look at those news stories with this report in mind. So just keep that there.
I've already got like a bit to think about this.
It's not a hard guess, but if you look at this graph here, we're seeing increases for everyone. Gaming, they say, will spread to about 4 billion people, which is nearly half of the population. Gaming is good. Video games are in a fantastic place in a lot of respects. So that's not the problem. But if you look at... it's actually really interesting looking at this graph, and maybe their visualization of it is just, I don't know, exaggerated or something. but like
I,
this,
I feel like it is.
because
Looking at
yeah,
those numbers, I'm just like,
for some reason this is suggesting like, yeah, I don't know, maybe it's fine, maybe that is what it is. I'm not sure. But anyway, these are numbers to keep in mind. There was a number I was looking at in
a
here.
Switch 2 better be really good for it to be this accurate.
Well, again, it goes back to like, what does Nintendo have to do? Which is not much, I think. Let's go ahead and get into, because there's not much more here in terms of, it's just like, hey, these two are going to have to compete, and there's only room for one. And they say the third one will struggle mightily, is the quote. That does not mean they'll get like eliminated, like, oh, they're getting out of the business or anything, but like, they are just not going to grow the same way the others are. So
And I think we've talked about them particularly.
yes, we have. Yes, we have. So let's start off with Sony here. Sony's big news story is they became the largest shareholder in From Software parent Kadokawa, but no full takeover for now. The reason being,
I feel like that actually works in their favor.
it does. Now, what's interesting is they became largest shareholder with 10% of the company. There's a lot of people that are invested. It's a huge company, to be fair. Kadokawa does a lot of multimedia things. Everyone's saying that, like, yeah, they own FromSoft, but that's like a nice bonus. It's actually more about what they offer for anime. You know, Sony being, I think, in control of Crunchyroll. There's a lot more opportunity there. But they invested $318 million, and Kadokawa was interested in a full-on buyout, but the price of that was $4.3 billion, and Sony just recently bought Bungie for $3.7 billion, and that has led to some mixed results, both in terms of Destiny 2 and the other offerings for Bungie, and the games that Bungie has consulted on. And let's not... Concord Sony published?
Yeah.
Game? I forget, but like they've had some money issues.
Yeah.
Has
Bungie done anything but Halo and Destiny?
They're working on Marathon, right? And
Yeah.
Right. The predecessor for all of them.
And they've been serving as guidance for Sony's live service efforts, trying to get all those, like, here's how you do a live service game, and it's not.
I feel like they are a little bit out of the loop on that one. There's so many better live service games that are not connected to Bungie.
You know, there are aspects of live service of Destiny 2 that are on point, but like they've struggled with making, first of all, like a story mode for someone who has not been able to keep up with it. Like, I just don't care anymore. They make good stuff, of course, but it's just not enough. I don't know. There are better people. But this year has definitely been the year for Sony of just like, maybe we shouldn't concentrate so much on live service.
Hitters, but also had some some splashes.
Yes. I mean, they got Helldivers 2. Helldivers 2 was a big hit, and they weren't even anticipating that. That wasn't part of the plan. So
that worked out.
Yeah. So
and then they had to go and mess that one up in mid like high.
They've messed it up. That was a big mess up where they were, you had to play on PlayStation, and then they've had some highs and they've had some lows. There's another news story I did not include this week, but Helldivers 2 came out with some Killzone 2 gear in their shop.
Yeah, I heard about that, and then they wound up making it free because people were upset.
Because people were upset. Polar Knights in chat says, "I see one of you has horns. I assume he works for Ubisoft." Well, shh.
I don't. No, I do not.
Quiet. God.
I don't associate with them at the moment. I'm a little upset with them.
Even the devil is upset with them. That's a sign of things. Yeah. So the Helldivers 2 is in a situation, but they're Ups and downs, but
Did we not?
Yeah.
Did we not talk about the whole Ubisoft situation?
Which Ubisoft situation?
Yeah, I was gonna say
that
which
they're
one.
like shutting down a bit. Stop doing a couple of shutting down a couple of their games.
Which ones?
It's unconfirmed yet. I've been trying to track the story I was reading, but it sounds like they put themselves in such a bad situation that Ubisoft might not be around for a while.
For a little
much
while?
Longer?
Oh, for much longer.
No. Yeah. Which sucks because that's the end of Assassin's Creed. That's the
not necessarily. They're gonna sell those IP off if they have to, at the end. That's what they do. The question is, does Konami buy Assassin's Creed and then not make video games, just make pachinko machines off the name? That's the real question. I don't know. I think Microsoft would, if that were to happen to Ubisoft, Microsoft would pounce on it. But
that would be an interesting fight between Sony and Microsoft on that one.
I mean,
I'd rather Sony gets it because when they put their effort into games, they put their effort into games.
But that's the thing about this news story is they can't spend the money for another Bungie. So what does that mean for Assassin's Creed? What does that mean for other Ubisoft titles? Does Sony have the wiggle room to try and jump on that?
Does it say in general that they don't have the money for it, or maybe
not necessarily?
It
just says, let's see, buying. Where was the specific quote? Here's a bunch of corporate talk. Hey, we have a business alliance. We're working together to increase shareholder value. They're working.
It could be just Sony being a little safe on the purchasing side, because this year has been a little rough on them as far as their investments.
Yep.
They've had good, like we said, they've had good, but with the recent Concord thing, they might be already preemptively rethinking how much money that they need to just not throw at things.
Right, but the question is do they have the ability or not? And you're right. This doesn't quite say that, but what they're saying here is that Kadokawa was interested in a full-on buyout, which was $4.3 billion, and Sony was like, despite the fact that comes with From Software, despite the fact that there's anime and other stuff to be made, with all that. So I don't know. That just seems like a good idea to purchase them. Which makes me think, okay, well,
we definitely have to see how this one goes, because it could go both ways on this. But at least From Software is safe for the time being.
Yes, for sure. They'll be all right. But yeah, this is an interesting story that kind of gets into Sony's situation. They have the upper hand in a lot of ways, but this highlights how they have also fumbled while having the upper hand. They are not invulnerable.
No.
So, then we got.
Unfortunately, I feel like a lot of them are kind of repeating their past mistakes, as we've slowly watched over and over.
Well, because we'll get
Microsoft, though, is going to be an interesting one, and we'll be definitely getting into that one.
They're the most interesting one for sure. Polar Knights in chat. NetEase Games in China is having huge issues. They have laid off over 5,000 workers in China this last month. Today, their Beijing offices closed. What?
Holy shit!
That doesn't seem. I mean, they probably have a lot more than 5,000 people, but God, if that's the case, Lord. Because they're the people that are making Marvel Rivals, which is doing incredible.
Holy shit.
Okay, well, looking at that. But for now, let's get to Nintendo's one story, which is, it's looking like, so there was a Reddit user says they have a final retail unit, which great, but then The Verge reports that it has spoken to Next Handheld and that they are, quote, largely convinced that the information provided by the user is legitimate. And basically, the big thing coming out of this is, hey, they're going to fix stick drift, supposedly. So
okay.
It's going to feature a more powerful dock as well as magnetic Joy-Cons. So the whole idea is they won't have to worry about stick drift, and then the dock will be rated for 60 watts, while the Switch 2 portable thing will be rated for 45 watts. So hey, surprise, if you use the dock, it'll be better instead of in the handheld. So, but yeah,
as the criticism from me from Nintendo, because I've said it on the past. I haven't been really impressed with Nintendo.
sure.
Like, I don't go out of my way to play anything, and the one game I did go out of my way to play is now coming to PC.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But I mean, the stick drift thing, I know how irritating that was for everyone, so it's good that they'll be fixing that. They'll be using magnets for the Joy-Cons, but
Yeah.
Reading this over, it didn't really say anything about the hardware. The hardware is going to be what really sells it, like, because people are going to either want to buy the Switch 2 just because it's Switch 2, or keep their Switch 1 because there's no real big hardware bounce. And
Yeah.
I want to know what they're doing with it. What's making this so I may have a reason to buy one.
Right. Well, so I'm thinking, they make it OLED. Because they already have a regular Switch 1 OLED, but I'm thinking you make that default for your Switch 2. The stuff that they were describing for the dock is pretty damn standard. And
that's what's got me a little worried about it. It comes off very standardized. Like, I would be impressed if they come out swinging with something more competent to the other consoles, as far as video resolution. The loading would be nice to fix.
Yeah.
Like, some of the games that I've played, like Fortnite, is not you don't want to play that on Switch. It is not the system to play any online, like, quick response that you will be interacting with other console users, or the worst of them is PC. PC is just so quick. Like, like PlayStation and Xbox, that's pretty. We've been playing together with them long enough at this point, and we're not complaining. And now that I'm switching over to PC, I'm like, oh, this really isn't much of a difference. But also, I haven't been playing competitive on the PC long enough to be like, oh, and really notice it.
Right.
But when it comes down to playing these games on a handheld like the Switch, there's a huge difference in, like, trying to get certain plays out while you're playing against somebody on a PC or a PlayStation.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I don't think you're gonna get like performance that is going to match. I mean, it could go, match up with current consoles. It could, but I just don't think that's Nintendo's prerogative.
That's what. No, and I could definitely see them not really going that way, but that would get me to buy one.
Right. The other thing is people were linking potential images of the Switch 2, which they're not true. They're not going to be real. But of what I've seen, the worst I've seen is they change almost nothing. And so it's the flat Switch with the flat handles, and it's the Switch again. Hey, check it out. Or there's one that is a beefier thing, something that fills your hand a little better. And then but in terms of hardware, like, yeah, they need to make something more stable. But in terms of like pushing the limits of graphics or what it can really do, it just doesn't seem to be the Switch's concern.
But if they really want to do gangbusters, like, and compete with the, like, and Nintendo, like we've said before, Nintendo really doesn't have to do that. They have their niche.
Yep.
And they're very good at their niche. Like, for me, even though it's not for me, I still admit that they're very good at what they do. The next Zelda game that is part of the Breath of the Wild, it's going to sell. It's going to sell a lot.
Yep.
The next Mario Party, and hopefully the Switch 2 gets a new Mario Kart.
It probably will.
Hopefully.
They're working on it, right? They have to be.
Yeah. They gotta be. I mean, we've been on the same Mario Kart since the Wii.
I could have sworn we've talked about a news story where they're working on a new Mario Kart. Because I remember
feel
having
like we did.
I think
I feel like we talked about a rumor of a Mario Kart 9.
Because I remember thinking, like, what the hell is that even gonna be? Like you did it with 8. I don't know how you. Damn, man. So.
But it's also funny because when you think of Mario Kart, it'd be like, how much can you add to a game other than just make new levels and carts and fly around in carts? But at the same time, I mean, like, I kind of want to do it.
If anyone can make it happen, it's the core team of Nintendo. Like, Mario Kart and Smash Bros. Have become the kind of the new Mario and Zelda in a way. So I think they're going to have their best minds trying to figure out what the next natural evolution for Mario Kart is. But yeah, that's the thing. Like here, we're gonna make a
Mario Kart with trains.
Everyone's locked on fucking rails. It's just okay. No, I think they want to have something that competes. You want something that can. The big thing is you want something that's stable to run, all the popular games. But Nintendo makes money by being this portable console that can play Mario Kart, Smash Bros, Mario, Zelda, Pokemon, Animal Crossing to the fullest extent. And if they can do that, they are going to sell a lot. And they're releasing years earlier than the competition, so there's only one console fighting for money. Hey, Polar Knights, thank you for the follow. Thank you for hanging out in the chat with us. Sorry, we're just when we go on a conversation, we tend to just write it out to the end. So, yeah, Switch is kind of going in a similar situation. I think Sony is, and like you said, Lucy, I think Xbox has the real interesting trajectory, which let's go ahead and move to now. These two stories, we'll just list them off back to back. Xbox is reportedly developing a cross-platform user interface. It's inspired by Battle.net system. So the idea is to have a similar Xbox experience regardless of what device you're on. And then the other story is, hey, Xbox maybe won't have exclusives going forward, claims the Windows Central executive editor, Des Corden. So timed exclusive at most. Yeah.
I wish they weren't going with the Battle.net thing. Battle.net sucks. Their desktop system sucks.
Mm-hmm.
The only reason I want to get like an integrated Xbox is because at least the Xbox interface works. It works. Why can't you do that for all the other systems?
They're gonna make an Xbox Battle.net that works, right? Right?
I mean,
right?
No. Okay. I feel like no, but regardless, though, them transitioning from actually having a stable system and making it so everything is an Xbox is a very big, powerful move. And I was reading a couple rumors, and that's all they are.
Yes.
But just like everyone has been assuming that is most likely going to happen, it is quite possible that Xbox will be working with Sony in the next generation, which means their games will be on their Game Pass could potentially be on the PlayStation.
Right.
So not having a dedicated system or platform where you could just have all your games, that also makes the no exclusives actually a pretty good move. Because if you're not dedicating all your attention to one platform and you're just thinking about the environment as the whole ecosystem as a whole, they're gonna be pretty successful in that. Sure, they could potentially not put out another console, but that doesn't mean that every console out there isn't now an Xbox.
Well, right, and we talked about this months ago when, like last year even, we were Xbox news was coming out like, oh god, the future of Xbox is fucking doomed, and then Xbox had to like come out on a podcast and be like, no. It's the idea that like we talk about console wars because it's fun to talk about console wars, but that's not how it. These are businesses trying to make money, and in the 21st century, especially the further we go along, like it's not about selling the boxes. It's not. It's that's how we've traditionally seen it, and so we see this report about one struggling mightily in terms of console sales. Is it even console sales? I'm gonna go back to that one. Yeah, new video game systems. So like, oh, one will struggle mightily in selling the boxes. We all know this is Microsoft that's going to struggle, but guess what? Microsoft doesn't care. That's not its business model anymore. Their idea is we are Microsoft. We are on all sorts of hardware. Just gonna go out and get them, like, and that's gonna work for them, including Sony. And so it'll be interesting. Yeah.
That's the main thing. I had an issue with that report, and I'm like, are you sure that there's going to be a third hardware console out there?
Xbox has been teasing with it. They say they're committing, but in word, that they're going to create a new console. That doesn't mean they will.
Right, and there's also the rumors that they're going to do their first handheld, which, if anything, that might actually just be their console.
Yeah,
and that works perfectly with everything that they've been working on, because not only can you take it anywhere, but they might be stealing a little bit of the Switch's like ideas on that one.
Yeah. So like, yeah, Polar Knights. It's nice. They have different boxes now. Ken and Barbie can come in the same box. I like those boxes. They're okay. You know, it's simple as hell.
So do my cats.
Why? Because they generate heat?
No, because if they fits, they sits.
Oh god.
They fits, they sits.
Yeah, like, and that's the real danger of Switch 2 is that they need to make an exceptional handheld, because there are a number. You got the Steam Deck, you got the ROG Ally, you got others coming in to compete in this specific space, on top of Xbox not so subtly researching getting into that space themselves. Sony doesn't seem as interested. I assume the Vita is still fresh in their minds. But Sony and Nintendo are continuing on like the track that they're on. Specifically Sony. Sony is like, if we just keep making a box that puts out some good games, the box doesn't suck, it will sell and be fantastic. And Nintendo learned from the Wii U, it's like, we found something cool, let's just make that cool thing again and call it that thing too, instead of confusing the hell out of people. And then, yeah, Xbox is the one that has to do a radical change. And it's not going to be seen as a success in terms of console sales. But we have to accept at this point that, like, unless Xbox massively gets the upper hand out of nowhere, it's not going to happen. Lilith Morningstar in chat. Hey, what's up?
Hello, Lily.
And I just,
She's from my community.
Oh, hell yeah.
Where the hell is Soul? Usually Soul's in here.
Where is Soul? Again, someone drag him out here.
Yeah. Drag him out by his feet. Just don't touch his feet.
Why not? I'm okay. I'm not going to ask.
Okay, who wants to pull the Scorpion card?
No.
Get over here.
Get over here. Ooh, I should make one of it. I should sell his masks. That'd be cool.
Oh no.
Oh, because I've been
Oh.
You've been working on the horns.
Did you 3D print that?
Mm-hmm.
Dang. You should sell those. Unless that plan came from someone else. I don't know what the ethics of selling 3D printed stuff is if you didn't come up with the thing yourself.
There's a lot of openness with it. So
that's cool.
You usually buy the print file itself,
mm-hmm.
and then as long as like you give credit to the person that makes
and it's fine.
the files, it's usually fine. Or they're in certain cases like cosplayer, like really big cosplayers that make their files. You can actually buy a license through them, like a very cheap one.
That's cool.
That helps them continuously make what they're doing.
Exactly.
And then you can sell, but pretty much it's just like it's selling the material. So it's time and material that most people that sell prints do. It's not so much the files themselves.
Cool.
So that's why it's such a it's a very open market and not so scrutinized. Like a lot of art markets are, unfortunately.
Yeah.
And
that's cool.
But like even artists deserve to be paid. And we talk about this with our games. They need to be paid for their work and time.
Yes.
You can't just have cheap time and not pay. Like it's good art is worth money.
Yes.
Or otherwise you can pay me to do some stick figures and that'll be your marketing scheme. So Microsoft, hit me up.
Yeah.
Oh wait, sorry. Activision, hit me up. I'll make you some stick figures.
Oh God. Well, that's cool.
Oh God.
Anyway, I want to wrap this up. I think there's going to be room for 2 consoles. Xbox may make a third. Maybe not. But who cares at this point? If we're getting consoles, we're probably getting Nintendo and PlayStation consoles. What it is. How do y'all feel about that going forward?
I actually, so like you did mention like the we love the console wars. It was always fun. It really was. It was a lot of fun. Like rubbing it in your friend's face. Oh, you should have quit with the PlayStation or the Xbox because we just did this.
I can't believe you got the 3DO. You fool.
Right?
You absolute fool.
But like it's a good time and bad time to be a gamer. Bad time is just because of what these companies are doing. But as far as the content coming out and how they're transitioning, I mean, I was a little skeptical about, and I criticized Xbox for their moves, but coming from somebody that just wants to consume the content, it's a great move. Sony's doing great things, even if they trip and fall on their face sometimes because they get a little too greedy. And Nintendo's going to continue being Nintendo. Yep. There's no doubt about that. We're going to have ups and downs, but the market is going to still be there. We're going to get games that are continuously looking more and more real or really goofy because there's a huge market for games where you just run around as a goat or a piece of bread. It doesn't have to be hyper realistic to be a great selling game.
Yeah.
So I feel I personally am looking forward to the next 20 years of gaming.
Oh man, again, going back to that research, gaming as a whole is continuing to do well financially. Money is going to keep coming to video games, so that's not a problem.
Not to mention, gaming has had a huge effect on outside markets. Like the military has been since the PlayStation 3. They've been buying consoles for simulator content, and because back on the PlayStation 3, I think they bought a couple million consoles just to do. They took the consoles and made them into something else for flight sims and stuff like that.
Right.
But Assassin's Creed Unity, because of how accurate and scans of the Notre Dame thing, there was a potential that they could have used those scans to help rebuild after the fire.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and they didn't go that way, but still, just
the fact they could
the
have.
effects, and not to mention like the work with neural deficiencies with like people being paralyzed and just still being able to play games. Like there's a couple of people I watch on TikTok that have a mouthpiece and control their movements.
Right.
Like just because you lose like a huge aspect of your life, you're still able to bounce back and still just play video games.
Yeah.
And not to mention the psychological benefits of playing video games in certain aspects, depending on where you want to look. It's an amazing thing that we have access to.
It's fantastic, and especially in a world where we are increasingly able to go to different parts of the country, different parts of the world, and through video games still socialize and keep in touch. It's so integral to how a lot of us live, and it's only going to be more so as time goes on. So, and yeah, I think this setup, having a Nintendo box for Nintendo things, and then PlayStation being that main console to play your video games on, and then Microsoft is out there putting their games out wherever. Like, I know Bronson would be in here talking about how the lack of competition as far as consoles isn't good. We don't really see Nintendo and Sony as direct competitors in the same way we see Sony and Xbox as direct competitors. So there might be issues there. We'll see. So Sony tends to trip when not being pushed, but we'll just have to see. Emily, what are your thoughts on the state of consoles right now? And going
I really
forward?
do see a Sony and Nintendo future,
Yeah.
and then Xbox just kind of in the background,
Right.
sort of thing.
Yeah, and which is what it's been for however many years now.
Years.
Here we are again. It's going to continue probably. And maybe it's more exaggerated.
Possibly until the end of time.
Yeah. But
one thing I would like to see though,
mm-hmm.
I would like to see a underdog. I want to see somebody else outside of Microsoft, Sony, and Nintendo come up with a new console or something to shake things up, because we've mentioned before that when they get too comfortable, and like you just said, Sony's not being pushed.
Right.
If they're going to continue being the big boy like console, they need a competitor. And if Xbox is completely fine with their marketing scheme right now, we need somebody new to come in and shake things up. That would be great for the market.
I almost want to. I also almost want to say a resurgence in Sega.
That would be cool.
That would be amazing. I would be so stoked.
Yeah.
If Sega was like, you know what? Let's go big. Let's get back into consoles.
Right. Yeah. Weren't we talking about?
Let's bring back the Genesis, man. Come on.
Weren't we all talking about Steam exploring a potential option? Not Steam, Valve exploring a potential hardware option to compete beyond the Steam Deck?
A at-home console version of the Steam Deck. I think we talked about that.
Yeah.
Was it last week? No, it was the week before. We talked about
it was
recently.
A few weeks ago.
Okay.
It was at least a few weeks ago.
Okay.
I mean, that's a great idea, but I like the idea of somebody coming in. And yeah, Sega, that would be a huge move. That would be so cool. The Sega Genesis revival. They could just call it that. And if they could compete, that would be so awesome.
Yeah, I think that would be really cool. I think they have a lot of goodwill purely in terms of nostalgia. I just think Valve is in a better position to challenge I know people have talked about Apple or Amazon making attempts, but especially if they keep trying to pursue cloud gaming as their like main thing, like whatever that one Stadia.
Yeah.
So.
And then there's Amazon with their Lumia version. Has anyone actually used that?
I forget it exists. I forgot it existed until you said it. So it's doing great.
I go through like my Twitch free games all the time. Like every couple of weeks, they had like new ones. Let's see, what do we got? Several Epic games, GOG, and then they've got games on Lumnia constantly coming out. There's a new game.
Fantastic.
Simulator 05. Okay.
Simulator 05.
Wait, what? How do you pronounce this? Simulacros. They have some weird stuff out there. I mean, Lost Ark was one of their big pushes, wasn't it?
That's right. Yeah. Yeah.
I've just never used it.
Yeah. Then this goes back to what they were talking about, which is like, yo, dog, we only got room for like 2 consoles, and then we got Steam, and we got good old games. Maybe you're big into super indies, and you go itch.io. People don't want to do like specific launchers for publishers. Some of us barely tolerate Epic's launcher. You got Battle.net.
Launchers.
Yeah.
At least Epic is better than Ubisoft's launcher or EA's launcher.
Yes.
But Microsoft needs to work on their fucking launchers.
It sounds like they are. I don't know if it's in the right direction, but they're working on it.
Yeah. We'll see. Yes, look who finally showed up, Soul.
Soul Chaos King is here.
Yeah. But if you guys want to play Wally, the video game, it's on Lumia right now.
We're going to stream some Wally after this.
Hell yeah.
All right. Well, the last thing I want to ask is, because Emily, it's been on my mind since we've been talking about all this console business. How are you feeling about this Xbox that we persuaded you to get? Because, man, I was feeling good about it at the time. That was genuine.
Oh, I've been waiting for this question from either you or Paige. I know you two were the big ones. You guys were like, you have to get an Xbox, you gotta get Game Pass, you gotta do this, that, and the other thing.
Game Pass is cool. It is cool, and they are doing their thing now where they're finally getting, Indiana Jones. They got Black Ops on Game Pass. They got another game I'm blanking right now.
But here's the thing.
Mm-hmm.
I got my PS5 like 5 months later.
Mm-hmm.
And so I've been on that shit forever.
Yep.
Because, and I see the smile on your face, Lucy, I am a Sony fangirl.
Mm-hmm.
And I will be a Sony fangirl until the day I die. So fuck you.
Yeah. Yep.
I'm not judging you. No
one's judging. This is a
I will always be a Sony fanboy myself. But I do play a lot more games on the PC, and now that I can play their games on the PC, I will also be doing that. Which, by the way, if anyone's looking for some for Sony's PC games, check out the Steam sale. A lot of them are 50 to 60% off, so you can get Last of Us, Spider-Man 1 and 2. Yeah.
Man.
Spider-Man 2 drops in January.
Oh, okay. But yeah, the Sony ones, you can actually get their games for half off. Uncharted right now is $20.
Okay, now I'm curious.
$20.
Wow.
Spider-Man Remastered is $30.
Oh yeah, Ghost.
How much is
Ghost of Tsushima? How much is it?
Let's see. That's too many games on my wish list.
Son of a bitch.
I had to clean mine out. I passed 100. I'm like, I'm not playing any of these.
Ghost of Tsushima, the director's cut is $47.99.
Go play it. All of you, go play it right now. Especially the director's cut. God damn it.
Okay. All right. I'm planning to get a PS5 in the next month or so. So I think I'm gonna hold off on buying these PC versions just so I have games to check out on my PS5. But
That
those
is
are some good deals.
absolutely fair.
Yeah. Yeah. That's it. That is what it is. This Super Gamecraft, not at the inception, but a year or so down the line, we were like, we are going to cheer for the underdog. We are going to push for Xbox. They have some cool ideas. They're trying with Game Pass thing. Here's something really interesting. And then, my God, multiple years of fumbling the bag. And they're getting on it right now. They got Avowed and other games, coming down the pipeline for being on Game Pass. It's a good deal. It's just might be too late. Might be just too late for this generation. I think everyone has made their choices. And that may be what happens going forward. So, good luck to Xbox. The not so subtle console that will struggle in the coming years. So, all right, that is the end of the console wars segment. Let's move on to some other news here. Dog Capcom says it's working on reactivating other dormant IPs like Onimusha and Okami. Now, if you'll notice, if you'll notice by this this news story here, that we got Dino Crisis sitting here. We covered months ago the biggest shock of the survey that Capcom sent out saying, hey, what do you want us to do? The biggest answer was Dino Crisis.
And I was saying on that episode, there's a bunch of Dino Crisis fanboys who are like, where is the remaster? You're welcome, you assholes.
We're getting at least a remaster. We're getting whole new Turok games now. Like, what we don't even, who knows what's happening?
Capcom stole the Game Awards.
They
they did actually.
Yeah. So, they're looking into it, which is good. People have been wanting to see those IPs. The fact that they have taken their biggest hitters in the RE engine and they've been just doing amazing things with it. To see them saying like, all right, it's time to go back to the franchises that people have been waiting for and start applying it to that too. That's exciting.
It's a very good move.
Yes. Yeah.
And for the market in general too, because if they wind up if they pull this off and potentially and hopefully outdo numbers that RE did with 1 and 2, or no, it was 2 and 3, but if they can outdo that, then maybe Sony and Microsoft will be like, oh shit, maybe we should bring back our older our IPs.
Yeah, that would be nice. Capcom has been the champion of good video games here for the last few years. I kind of want to say it started with the reveal of the RE engine, right? Like with 7. That was when I felt like it really started happening. Then you got Devil May Cry, and the rest is history. I'm hoping for the best for them. They're doing fantastic work. So yeah. Let's move on to Bayonetta creator Hideki Kamiya says his creativity would have died had he continued to work at Platinum Games. So in this story, we got a couple bits of news. One thing is apparently Platinum Games has changed how they operate, and Hideki Kamiya is not thrilled with that, and so they had months of conversations trying to sort out something, and he found out it was just not going to budge, and they said, I have to leave. If I'm going to continue making video games, I have to get out of here. He was put on a 1-year non-compete clause, so in a technical sense, he was unemployed for about a year. It sounds like he was in talks on creating that new Clover studio during that time, but he just couldn't take part in it until his thing was over. Big thing here is at Platinum Games, they were working on Project GG, which is the new Beautiful Joe game. So
I'm sorry, what?
That's being worked on, I guess, at Platinum Games right now. Without Hideki Kamiya at this moment. So Who knows how that's gonna go?
It's gonna go fucking poorly, I'll tell you that much.
So we don't know how long they've been in development with this. Maybe a lot
Even
of
still.
even still. No, absolutely. Like maybe a lot of the creativity happened before then, but also Platinum Games has been struggling in recent years. So I don't know. I'm worried. I'm terrified. I'm
I
sitting
stand
here.
by my statement.
Yeah. I'm so happy that they're making Beautiful Joe, but also when it comes out to this news, I'm like, no.
I haven't played too many Platinum games. I'm just very familiar with the game or the company itself. So I had to look up the games, but Bayonetta is the only one that I think I've ever wanted to play other than Nier Automata.
Nier Automata, Bayonetta, Beautiful Joe, Okami. That someone that Platinum Games?
No.
No.
Yeah, at least it's not on this particular list.
Yeah, I need to look it up. Fortunately, I don't have
Original Okami was Capcom and Clover Studio and Ready at Dawn.
Gotcha. Okay. Platinum Games used to be an incredible. I don't know if anyone's looking at the list right now. Did they do Metal Gear Rising: Revengeance?
Platinum?
Platinum.
1 moment, please.
I'm waiting. Please take a sip of Coca-Cola Zero Sugar.
Yes, Metal Gear Rising: Revengeance was them in 2013.
That's a game you should try out.
I have actually played that one.
Okay, all right.
Oh, they did Star Fox Zero in 2016.
Yes, they were, which did not go great, but it was someone taking a shot at Star Fox, which Star Fox fans, I imagine, appreciate a little bit.
Vanquish was actually pretty good. I only played the demo and never got around to actually getting the game. But in recent years, outside of like criticism to Platinum Games, I really don't think they've really done anything.
Well, that's
notable.
the thing. In recent years, they've really been struggling, which is a shame because they've been fantastic at making action games. They were like one of the best, and something happened in recent years where they've just been falling off. They had a game we were covering a couple of years ago, I think, that was like, maybe it was last year. It was like this action game that I think might have been live service. I forget, but like it just came out to nothing. There was no real marketing for it, and it just died instantly. And it didn't help that like people played the video game. It's like, this isn't fun. This is not like Platinum Games fun. So it sounds like they're trying to restructure to fix things, but in doing so, they've limited the creativity of the man who makes Platinum Games. So yeah, this is great for Okami for sure. For Hideki Kamiya and the future of what they do. Platinum Games, I'm a little worried. Gotta be honest with you. But
well, with him leaving, at least he's going to be able to work on things
yes,
a little bit more freely now. So that's a plus.
It is a plus. We got some former Clover people helping him make Clovers, and he's gonna, at least this first game coming out, you got Okami, and then maybe he tries something new. Maybe he tries, I don't know, a sequel to God. I'm happy for him. I'm happy for those guys at Clovers. That'll be great. I'm worried about Platinum Games, and I am terrified for Beautiful Joe.
As you should be.
Yeah. We'll have to keep an eye on that. It's Beautiful Joe, one of the patron saints of Super Gamecraft. So we're gonna keep an eye on that. Anyway.
A close eye too.
Yeah. Oh, I had the Wikipedia after all this time. Did some additional work on 16. Yeah, the only thing they have to be announced is Project GG, which cites this story. So, like, this story was what? Like, oh, okay. Yeah, Babylon's Fall, that was the game. They tried to make big thing and just fell flat. Astral Chain. And they had Nier Automata, which is amazing. But yeah, just lots of hits and misses, man. They do great work, but also, man, they did Mad World. Wow. Well, anyway. Hey, we were talking about Sega a little bit ago.
And?
So the thing about Sega is, hey, that's where Sonic lives. Do you know this guy, Sonic the Hedgehog?
Yeah.
Okay. I just wanted to check to make sure, no one really talks about him anymore.
Really? I mean,
no,
I hear that there's a movie coming out.
What?
It's actually already out.
What?
Oh.
Or at least a third one is.
What?
Yeah.
I had no idea.
Keanu Reeves is in it even.
I don't believe you. All right. Sega's president.
He's the coolest hedgehog of all.
He's got a gun. It's if you can't say otherwise without a threat to your life. Sega's president calls Sonic Superstars a disappointment. Anyone recall Sonic Superstars releasing?
No.
Yeah.
No, not at all.
I was reading this and I was like, okay. It mentioned that it came out during Super Mario Wonder. I don't even know what that is.
That's fair. Yeah, there's some quotes in here. It's like, turned out to be a disappointment. We were trying to do something creative with Frontiers. They came out with Sonic Shadow Generations, alongside this Sonic movie, the third one, and then you had the Knuckles show happening. Which
was good. I liked it.
Oh.
They showed up in Reno, our home.
Yes. Yeah. It's nice.
They had a fight underneath the arch.
Yeah. But yeah, there's a quote here saying like, they had implied Mario Bros. Wonder was responsible for Sonic Superstars selling fewer copies than expected, which it got me thinking about just Sonic the Hedgehog as a whole. So they're trying to push Sonic in a lot of ways. And Sonic has a lot of heat.
Use the word whole anywhere near Sonic.
We don't want to talk about Sonic's whole? Are you sure?
No, we don't need to talk about the fan base.
Have you ever seen Sonic's whole? It's really interesting.
Oh, God.
God damn it, guys.
Just saying.
God damn it.
All right. The quote, the strategic expansion of Sonic IP is progressing well, and we will continue to work to increase repeat sales of the title. But they're trying to center video games as their push. So there's a couple things going on here. First of all, Sonic is not like Mario levels, unfortunately. It's not the thing. Like, let me tell you, if you were to come out with a Sega console and try to revive everything and put Sonic at the front, maybe you can start really making that push. But trying to center video games for Sonic the Hedgehog, and I gotta say, man, that hasn't been the center of Sonic's impact on culture in a long while. Like,
not since he kissed that lady.
Oh God, are we really talking about this?
But it's a valid point. Like, Sonic hasn't really had a good run in video games. If I'm gonna play Sonic, and which I really want to get Generations because it's more to the Sonic that I grew up playing on the Sega Genesis. But it's not one of those IPs that I want to like go out and play as bad as I want to play other games.
Its impact on our generation was Adventure 1 and 2. They've had some success since then with impacting later generations, but it hasn't really been through the games. It's been through Sonic Boom the show. It's been through these movies that are out. It's been through shitposting memes online in which the person in control of their Twitter account has leaned fully into, which was a fantastic move. That That's not making good Sonic video games. I'm glad they're still trying. They should, but that's just not been the center of it. They came out with Sonic Mania, great game. They've been coming out with Sonic Generations, where they're just doing modern revisions of the classics. Those are good games, but they're not bringing the heat of like Adventure 1 and 2 or their earlier hit titles of the time and era. So I found this weird of like Mario Wonder took away from our success. It's like, well, actually, if you go to the Steam reviews section here, the game is good. Whoever designed the final boss should be fired and sent to work in a Venezuelan coal mine.
Oh my god!
The game is
I gotta love those reviews.
Yeah. Yeah, the game is fun until you reach the later boss fights. They almost make me miss classic Sonic sections in Forces, which Sonic Forces is a game for the fans and strictly for the fans. If you're not, you're looking for a good Sonic game. No. That was another game that was like Racing Transformed, where they did kart racing for Sonic. That was actually a good game.
Oh, yeah.
But like, weird. That's not like, it's definitely not reaching cultural impact level. It's like, oh, you happen to make a good game with Sonic. That's interesting. Going down the list of Sonic Superstar reviews. The bosses in this game are total cheeks. Some of the worst bosses in the entire franchise. The person who made Trip's final boss should be sentenced to a life of only playing Balan Wonderland.
Oh. Oh, that is cold.
Yeah. Other than that, it's a decently fun 2D Sonic game, but it is definitely not worth the $60 price tag. Also, Sonic has a really cool and dedicated modding community who single-handedly hard carry most of the games in the franchise, but this game doesn't even have that many mods going for it. Modding scene for this game died fast, so there aren't really any mods to make the experience more enjoyable. So this review by Quebecu on Steam really touches that point. Like the juice of Sonic is actually its fan base itself. Like games are not it. I'm glad they keep trying. I'm glad they keep trying, but like it's.
Did you have to use the word juice though?
Look, let's talk about Sonic Juice some more. Sonic Juice, Sonic Juice, Sonic Juice.
No, just you opened this door, Lucy. You opened this.
Thank you.
It's always going to happen because it's Sonic. Like, there's no innocence when talking about Sonic anymore.
I don't know. I
think he's absolutely right.
Not. Why would there be?
Fan base is the only thing that keeps Sonic alive.
So, and that's the thing. Like, they're the ones going to see these movies that I personally don't think aren't that good. And because they want to see Sonic in the flesh. They want to see Shadow in the flesh, voiced by Keanu Reeves, and I don't blame them. That's neat. Sonic Boom was some interesting comedy for a kid's show. That was like definitely better than your standard. And then there are people that are just modding Sonic into everything. Do you want to play as all the Sonic characters in Left 4 Dead? Hell yeah, there's plenty to help you with that. And like that's it. It's definitely something that is led by the audience trying to make the best of what they got. They're in a weird spot. They are doing fantastically. Like Sonic is probably doing better than it ever has before in its history, financially. But it's not the games, man. You're doing your Frontiers thing. Hell, the comics. I don't know how the comics are doing these days, but those Archie comics had an impact, and so many characters were made in that. Yeah, I don't know. I haven't heard of this game very much. Sounds like it's a 4-player platformer.
Yeah, and I looked it up while you were talking.
Yeah.
It's a Sonic game.
Yep. They made it a 2D Sonic game, guys.
With 4-player ability co-op with some abilities. You could play as any of your characters. It's just a nice looking Sonic game. I might actually pick it up just because, it's nice to play a game like that.
Apparently,
I think that a couple of the criticisms, though, I mean, it's a Sonic game. The boss fights have never been like.
That's not what I come to Sonic
really
for.
good
I think those kinds of games you tend to want some decent boss fights, but history of Sonic boss fights, I don't recall any of them. Especially like I'm thinking back to like Sonic Adventure. Whatever.
Even
I'm here
Mario
to run fast.
has never really been known for his boss fights. You run in, you make it to the level, then you hop on Bowser's head 3 times, and that's it.
You're there for the journey, not the destination.
Exactly.
You know? It's about getting from the start point to the end point. That's what's fun about it. Which means like unless maybe people think these bosses are seriously that much ass that they have to call it out. I guess I don't know. This is making me think. I'm looking at this, and this is just making me think. Man, we need a new Sonic Heroes. The idea of a 3-man group and switching in between to deal with different obstacles and doing it as efficiently as possible to move fast, because Sonic move fast. Yeah, we need a new Sonic Heroes. But yeah, Sonic's in a weird spot, and yet they're doing fantastically. And the people who are in ownership of Sonic aren't necessarily on the up and up on how to use them, and I think that's very interesting. Despite they have a lot of success for them going forward, and they're just like, why didn't Superstars work? And your main Sonic fan base aren't the people who grew up on 2D Sonic. Like, there were the advanced games that came out during our time. And yeah, Sonic Mania came out, but not, I don't know, make an attempt at an adventure game. They came out with Frontiers because Breath of the Wild happened. Like, I get to an extent, but
I've heard so many good things about that game that I was like, ooh, it's been a while since I've actually played a Sonic game. Maybe I'll give this a go.
Let me pull up Steam.
But it's not going to be it's not on my top 20 list of things I want to play.
There are so many games out right now, man, and Sonic is just not demanding that attention to me. But I'm also not a Sonic fan in that sense anymore. Like, I'm not hardcore. My brother is, and I tend to just check with him. So,
fair enough. Like, nostalgia hits me here and there, but it's never really been like that with Sonic or Mario. When I think back to my games that I want to play, like this year, for example, my favorite game on the Nintendo 64 was Pod Racing.
Yeah.
So I got it on the PlayStation and I platinumed it.
Mm-hmm. Hell yeah. Oh. Emily, what's your history with Sonic?
Sega Genesis.
The Genesis games.
Yeah.
Yep. You didn't touch. You didn't touch Adventure 1 or 2.
No.
They're weird. They're weird.
A little bit.
But when I think of like modern Sonic, like that's honestly what I think of. Even though like that's 20 years old, Sonic has just been trying all these other things, including just being like, man, remember the 2D games? The 2D games are great. And it's like, I don't know, man. Just try to make a good adventure game. I don't know.
You can do it. We believe in you.
It's mostly a straight line. There are some obstacles. You got some homing attacks to do your platforming and grinding on rails and running away from whales. I don't know. Stuff to do. Anyway. Yeah, all right, we got a few news stories that aren't that big, but let's start tearing through them. Let's see. We got Borderlands 4 will cut back on the toilet humor and meme references, says a narrative director for the game. So this guy, what's his name? Sam Winkler. I checked out his website. This man has almost exclusively worked on Borderlands. Latest was like Tiny Tina's Wonderland.
Yeah.
And so says, hey, we're not going to reference Skibidi Toilet or Hawk Tua. We're gonna pull back on all of that. Here's a tweet. Someone said, so are you saying I won't be able to use the poop farty 4000 while doing a mission to clean up porta potties with my companion Skibidi toilet? And Sam Winkler responds, I'm not going to say there's no toilets, but if the word Skibidi ships in the game under my watch, I'm going to cry real tears. Paul Tassi joked that we were going to have a gun called Hawk 2A, and a fellow dev asked me if it was real, and I wanted to put my hand down the sink grinder.
Damn.
Yeah. So yeah.
This goes two ways for me, because I saw the trailer while we were watching the Game Awards.
Yes.
Right.
I think part of Borderlands has always been that toilet humor. So them not going with it is, I don't know.
Bad move?
It looked too, huh?
It's a bad move on their part, not going with the toilet humor?
I think so, because it did not seem like it seemed like you just took the humor out of Borderlands and just made it a generic loot shooter with cell shading.
Doesn't necessarily mean they're removing the humor. They're trying for a higher class of humor. You must understand.
I don't know.
Also, they're cutting back a little bit, is what you're saying, which is bullshit.
On the toilet humor. On the toilet humor and meme references.
But that's
you can go fuck yourself, Aaron.
Lifeblood of Borderlands, though. I mean, is there not going to be a reference to Shooty McShootface?
So here's the thing. This is why.
What about Ratman 2?
This is why I brought this news story up. I have not played a lot of Borderlands. I played a good chunk of 1 and a little bit of 2, and I was like, all right, you grab different guns and you shoot guys. That's fine. I don't know. I'm not intimately familiar with this brand of humor. I just get the vibes from the trailers, basically. But we had a game come out over a decade ago, a little game called Duke Nukem Forever. And that was a game that was in development for many years. And Gearbox, same developers as the Borderlands games, came in and said, we're going to finish this product and put it out as a piece of gaming history. This thing from a once notable franchise. We're going to put this out. And it came out, and my God, like, Duke Nukem out here in 2012 or whatever year that game came out, being like, pork chop sandwiches. Like making references, and it's like, this shit is so old. Oh my God. Man, I don't know. They made a reference to Master Chief, like armor on the ground. He's like, another dead space marine. Okay. Emily, did you see something?
It came out in 2011.
Yep. Yeah.
And oh dear God.
The references in your games, topical references are just risky, man. I think that aspect is risky.
It can be, but like Duke Nukem, that game was just so mishandled. Not even mentioning the developing time. It's not a complicated story or a game that needs overcomplication.
No.
The mechanics of that game were so bad. I mean, the original Duke Nukem played better than that garbage.
Did you enjoy driving that monster truck that burns through gas real quickly, and then like 30 seconds later the monster truck scene is done? Good.
No, I don't think I even got to that. I
was
looking forward to Duke Nukem because, like, I played those. That was along the lines of Wolfenstein and Doom, and they all referenced each other. But no, I don't think it was. I mean, the humor and the jokes in that one failed, but also, Borderlands 2 came out around the same time, didn't it?
Sounds right.
And yeah, and that one was one of the best Borderlands to date.
Yes, but that also did not suffer from jokes that were written 8-9 years ago.
No, but like the thing about Borderlands 3 references stuff most recently.
Right.
This one has the ability to do the same thing. But how far are they going to be taking the humor back? I mean, they say that they're going to take it easier on it, but Borderlands is all about that toilet humor.
So
as dumb as it is.
I only played a certain amount of Borderlands 1, but the impression I got was like you're in a world with a bunch of crazy people. Everyone's gone nuts. Get these cool guns. And I didn't get the impression they had that kind of humor until 2. And I mean, gameplay-wise, like what makes Borderlands is all those crazy guns and shooting these crazy people. And then like the humor, it's not a serious game. Everyone's being nuts and crazy, and you can do that without toilet humor at all. It sounds like they're not even like removing all of it. They're just dialing that aspect back.
We're cutting it back.
The question is, can they be funny without it?
Right. And just with the just in general with his mindset about things being a little too sensitive, that's what worries me. I mean, don't get me wrong, Randy Pitchford, I'd want to repeatedly kick him in the dick.
Yeah.
For 12 hours straight.
Can I join in on that?
Oh, absolutely. And nobody likes him. Nobody likes him, but like
not at all.
The game has number 2 was like the best that they've ever done, aside from Tiny Tina's Wonderland, which is really good.
Okay.
And but yeah, no, I could see this being either very, it could be a good thing. I mean, I'm not a big fan of the skibby thing, but Hawk to a bit of a funny gun.
If you named a gun the Hawk Tua, like I wouldn't have a problem with it, to be honest with you. Like whatever.
And honestly, be like quick, like and then that's over.
And then just go.
If it's one gun among hundreds, like whatever, man.
Yeah.
That specific example, I didn't care. Like whatever. But
honestly, we have to wait to see how it turns out.
We are.
Like I said, the trailer had me a little worried that they made it a little serious. I didn't understand what was going on.
They certainly changed the vibe a little bit.
Yeah, and that's what has me worried now that this is an article. Because now I'm like, is this not going to be a Borderlands game? Are you really just going around collecting guns and shooting the bad guys? They look way too serious.
Right. I don't know. I've never been a Borderlands person. It didn't appeal to me. So like the impression it made in my mind is here's a lot of guns to shoot people with and everyone's joking around. That's kind of it. And so yeah, we'll see what they have to replace it. I imagine they're going to continue the jokes, because to remove jokes entirely to make it a serious game is to not make it Borderlands.
Yeah.
So we'll see. We'll see what happens there. Amazon has renewed Secret Level for a season 2.
Hell yeah!
I'm so happy.
I've been enjoying this. I don't even watch them in order. I've been like
bouncing back and forth between episodes.
Mainly off of like who I talk to, like Selena Wolf was over visiting yesterday, and she's like, "Oh yeah, we watched the Pac-Man episode. It was fucking weird, so we watched it. It was fucking weird, and it's based off of that new Pac-Man game." And I'm like, "I'm gonna play it, but I don't understand what's going on, and there's no Waka Waka going on."
Yeah, what the hell? Wait a minute. This looks interesting. I've yet to watch it myself. But it sounds like, let's see, Amazon said Secret Level enjoyed the most watched animated series debut of all time for Prime Video within its first week. Numbers weren't provided, but data and insights company Luminate said the show was viewed for 155.3 million minutes, which works out to about 1.4 million views based on its runtime. A lot of people watched. It has episodes on Dungeons and Dragons, New World, because of course, got to get the Amazon game in there. Sifu, Unreal Tournament, Warhammer 40K, Pac-Man, Crossfire, Armored Core, Outer Worlds, Mega Man, Exodus, Spelunky, Honor of Kings, and the Concord, which I want to watch that Concord episode. I want to know what's going on, man.
You know what we could do is we could do a watch party and just
I am all in on this.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, we'll have to put a pin in that.
Like we binge the entire episode, like the entire series one day, because it's 15-minute episodes. You could easily get that done in a day.
And we just. It's because it's 8 episodes, right?
It is 16.
Oh, it's 16. Okay, but that's still like. I can't do math at this hour. What is that? 4 hours?
4 hours.
Math you speak of.
4 hours with bathroom breaks and whatever in between. 5 hours. You could do that.
More or less, yeah.
Yeah. I didn't realize about this this cast list. We got Arnold Schwarzenegger, Kevin Hart, Keanu Reeves, Ariana Greenblatt. They got some people in here. Laura Bailey's in here.
Homegirl Laura Bailey. Yep. That's right. Yep. Let's go.
So yeah, hey, guess what? Video games and their cultural impact continues to grow. And I'm excited to see a season 2. Find out what game got canceled with the Secret Level episode next season. God. I need to watch that, but looks interesting. Good for them. Last news story. Oh, Emily, what's up?
I was gonna say, if you're ever curious, episode 13 is the Concord episode.
Okay, good. All right, we got to.
So far, the first episode's my favorite. It's
15 episodes. I thought it was 16, but it's 15.
15. Okay. Dungeons and Dragons is your favorite?
Yeah, so far it is absolutely my favorite.
Sifu was the best one.
Ooh, okay. Coming from Dungeons and Dragons lady. Picking Sifu that's an endorsement.
It didn't feel like a D&D.
Oh.
I felt like it was more like I want more of it. The way that they wrote it
more than D&D.
Interesting.
But Diablo is based off of D&D.
But
it felt like that was the origin story of a campaign. That is the beginning of the campaign. Like you go in.
Although I will say that Tiamat.
Oh yeah.
Hell yeah. Well, all right. We may have to watch that at some point. All right. Final news story here.
Final news story.
Yeah, nice quick one. Marvel Rivals has a holiday themed update as it hits 20 million players.
Holy shit.
Free to play Marvel game. That's good. We'll do that to you.
This game, 20 million.
20 million.
That is impressive.
And
there's 109,000 people streaming it right now.
Yep.
How many?
Or viewers, 109,000.
They also have an event going on right now where, like, if you get into a match with the
Jeff
streamer, they have the Jeff's Christmas thing, which is the Jeff Christmas Splatoon match happening. People are having fun with that.
How is that, by the way?
I have not played it myself, but I hear it's good. It's all right.
It's all right. I never played Splatoon. I just love that it's a lot of. I don't know. I don't understand the fascination with Splatoon. It's a decent mode, I guess. It's fun. I'm only doing it for the skin.
I mean, fair.
I mean,
Aaron, our resident Splatoon expert.
The appeal of Splatoon is partly its aesthetic, which is the street kids.
I've got to ooze over everything and claim it as my own.
Yes.
It's almost going around licking things.
Are you saying that's not fun?
No, I'm not saying that.
Okay. So there's that. There's with Splatoon, the big difference gameplay wise between Splatoon and this mode is that Splatoon has a bunch of different weapons that spread paint in different ways, and they have different abilities. Whereas Jeff, it's like
he's just hot-tooing everywhere.
Exactly. And so that's fun in a sense, but it's not. There's no variety happening there. But I love Splatoon. I'm terrible at Splatoon, but I love the idea. So they got that going on. They got some skins happening, and that's fun and all. Anyway, Marvel Rivals continues to do really ridiculously well. And they will be looking at those numbers and watching Overwatch 2 at the same time and see how things go as time goes on. But yay for Marvel Rivals. Good job, everyone.
Yeah.
And that is the news. So, yes.
Oh?
Actually, I almost forgot, but Marvel Rivals accidentally revealed a couple of new fighters.
Okay.
I think it was on purpose, but they let's see if I can find it.
Why is that? Why do you think it's on purpose?
For the same reason that the models went out the way they did.
What?
The character models.
Yeah, you got to explain this to me like I haven't seen it because I haven't seen it.
Oh, okay. So there was a data mining breach.
Hold on a second. Dwarf Wolf Dad just subscribed. Hell yeah. Thank you so much, Dwarf Wolf Dad.
Thank you, brother. I love you so much.
Dwarf Wolf Dad's been subscribed for 10 months. He said, "Good morning, party people. Lovely to see you all. Lovely to see you here in chat. Appreciate you, man. Thank you for coming and hanging with us." All right, Lucy, what were you saying?
Okay, so I don't want the MSN one. I'll post the story about the leak.
Okay.
But so there was a data mine of the characters, and they're more detailed than you'd think.
Okay.
And it's a lot of us are thinking that it was mainly to also help go up against Overwatch because the fan community of Rule 34, yeah, Rule 34. I'll just put it in general.
Yeah, here, post this here so I can pull this up.
Yeah.
Let's see.
So they did an ad recently for Marvel Rivals, and in the little photo that they released on or while they were showing this off, you can see the Thing and the Human Torch in the roster.
Oh. Here. There's Human Torch and the Thing right there. All right.
Yeah. And that's I'm thinking it was on purpose. I think everyone knows that these characters were going to come into play eventually.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, especially with them trying to make a new Fantastic Four movie.
Right.
That's awesome. Those are a couple great characters. Some of the first Marvel heroes. So that's cool. Okay.
There's also been leaks of like Blade and who else?
I was seeing that there. Blade and Ultron.
Yeah. Which doesn't seem like really bad leaks. They're definitely going to be pushing a lot of characters in the next year.
Yes.
I think I think it was they said that they want to push for like 40 by the end of next year.
Oh yeah. Yeah, they could get that. Yeah. Easy.
Oh yeah.
Balancing them will be interesting, but you know.
Mm-hmm.
Mr. Fantastic's reach across the map is going to be a pain in the ass.
It's like Doctor Strange's portal ability. You control the hand and it just reaches out. Oh. Pretty good. Yeah. It seems like from these leaks, it sounds like we got two vanguards and 2 duelists. They're leaving the healers alone for now. Unless Blade's a healer, which I highly doubt.
He's got to be a DPS.
They were saying Ultron might be a healer. I think Bronson was saying that last night. So
that would make sense.
Would it?
A little bit.
Yeah, because he could kind of do the same thing Loki does with because he's also got clones.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Well,
that's why it would make sense for Ultron to be a healer.
All right. Yeah. All right. Well, I'm into it. I'm into this development. Let me tell you, I love me some Human Torch. So it's we'll be looking forward to that. All right. Now we're actually transitioning. All right. Now we're out of news. Woo.
Yeah, my bad.
Officially? Are we officially done with the news?
As far as I know, does anyone want to bring something up?
I've got nothing. All I got is Marvel Rivals stuff.
Let me pull up VGC because sometimes they like to release news before. Let's see. Games are a work of art inside the new museum that's putting Mario up against Michelangelo. That's fun. Okay. Yeah, I don't know.
Okay. Yeah.
They're doing their thing. So, yeah. All we got left is what we've been playing. You know what? Dwarf Wolf Dad, I'm going to read your comment when we get to that game, which will not take long, let me tell you. Actually, you know what? Let's just get it out of the way. Hey,
that's actually...
I played Marvel Rivals. Lucy, I imagine you played some Marvel Rivals. Emily, we're still waiting on you. We're waiting.
It's gonna take me a minute.
It's fine.
I gotta get through my backlog first.
That's fine. No, I understand. We already bullied you. We bullied you into an Xbox. I don't want to bully you into this.
Which is right here on my desk right now.
I know.
Like,
I feel bad. But like, this is not an Xbox situation. This is a free to play game, and we're enjoying it. Okay.
Yeah, which means we could bully you into playing something that
we're not bullying. It's not bullying that's happening right now. I'm just saying we're a group of friends.
We're not bullying, but I will persuade you. Let me roll a dice on that.
We are.
Oh, and
yeah.
Tell me, how do you plan on persuading me?
By not pushing as hard on the Xbox thing. Like, you should play because you can play up to 6 people, and we're struggling to find a consistent group of people.
I need to get good first.
Well, so do I. So let's see. Dwarful Dad here says, I've been dabbling in it. I'm in the same boat as M. A lot of backlog. Yeah. No, again, there are so many games out. There's never been a better time to be into video games because, oh my God, they are everywhere.
So much. And there's more.
And there's
always more.
The Dwarful Dad says, I see Ultron as more like Squirrel Girl sending out his minions in like her squirrel army. That's funny. I like that idea. Dwarf Dad is down on joining. Well, join. Are you part of the Avengers tag on our Discord? We got to get you added.
He is part of our Discord, so
he is part of the Discord for sure.
Yeah.
We gotta get you as part of the tabs so that when we have our game night, we'll send out the Avengers tag. If you're not added, we'll let Bronson know. And all right, I actually may have admin privileges. I may be able to make you an Avenger. So we'll figure that out after the show. If anyone else is watching and wants to be eligible for joining our Marvel Rivals group, just join in and express interest in the video games tab, and we'll get you set up.
$5 a month.
Shut up.
Easy.
Maybe in a couple years. So we're gonna be like the real video game awards. We're charging $30 to join our team of ass players. Okay, it's all right. It's fine. Yeah, Marvel Rivals. We played. We had our usual night last night. We tend to play on Saturday nights. But we also have just impromptu, like, hey, I want to play Marvel Rivals with people I know, so I'm gonna throw the Avengers mention out there in our Discord and see who joins up. So yeah, Dwarful Dad's dealing with the aftermath of the surgery. Good Lord. Yeah, okay. Well,
oh yeah.
Take your time to rest, play that backlog. And so yeah, I played a bunch. We played. Thankfully, because Lucy and everyone was gone, I actually got to play Cloak and Dagger a bunch, which is my main, and I love them to death. But not a lot of chances to really try anything else because everyone goes in as a DPS.
Hey, I'm a hardcore healer, which I'm getting even better with.
That's what I hear. I hear you're getting really good as Loki.
Yeah, I've got quite a bit of content that I need to upload to my TikTok, but I have a montage video of pushing Loki to MVP.
Hell yeah.
I did a 9-game win streak.
Nice.
Where 7 of them were me being MVP as Loki.
That's wild. Oof. All right. Have you been doing ranked?
I really don't want to talk about it.
Okay.
Because I'm going to, because it does bother me that it's not cross-platform ranked. You have to do it. It's locked to console and PC at the moment.
Yes.
And since most of everyone plays on the PC version, and I can't stream the PC version without a certain amount of crashes.
Yeah.
So I play on the console.
Yeah.
Which is now my highest. I had spent probably about 8 hours in ranked, and not even, I would win maybe 1 or 3 games. And then my whole team would just fuck everything up, and they would not pick anything. And I would constantly be the only healer.
That's a bummer. Oh my god.
It really was. Like, it was very frustrating. And then the minute I go into regular play, I was getting games that we're working as a team. It mostly felt like ranked games were just with a bunch of people that don't know what the fuck they're doing. And then you do regular games and everyone's working as a team. And it's like, it should be the opposite way.
But my experience has been the opposite on PC, so that's something. Ugh.
Yeah,
all right.
I'm hoping that they open it up to do crossplay on ranked, because that is the one big complaint that I have about how they're doing the game. I heard that they're not going to be doing the role queuing. They are heavily against it.
Yes.
Which is fine. I like the ability to pop in and out of who I need to be, depending on our team's dynamic.
Yep.
Which is great. But yeah, not ranked yet. But my Loki is Centurion proficiency.
Hell yeah. Yeah. Yeah, you've been playing a lot. I just ascended to, I don't know if it's Knight or the next one for Cloak and Dagger. Been enjoying that. Got to Knight with Captain America purely out of necessity. It's like, we just need tanks. Like, all right, fine. And that's been fine. Yeah, I love healing in that game. That's where I feel strongest. Damage dealing. I wouldn't know. There's always someone when you're going into quick match, just like, all right, we got people hardlock Spider-Man the moment we jump in. So okay, let's figure this out.
Oh, Spider-Man.
Yeah.
Oh. Either you're really bad with him or they're too good with him.
Yes.
And there's no in between.
Nope.
And it's frustrating on both sides. Either you're going against a really bad Spider-Man and you're like, okay, yeah, this guy sucks, or you're going up against a really good one.
Mm-hmm.
And you're playing with one that is really bad.
Right. We ran into a guy last night. His username was Spider-Man 2076, and insta-lock Spider-Man. It's like, yeah, I don't blame him. Even if he's bad, I don't think I have the heart to tell him he's bad. Like, if you're committing that hard to Spider-Man, it's like, I'm going to let you have your fun. You're here to play Spider-Man. I get it.
The randoms that shit talk while you're playing is just hilarious.
I don't.
I was in one match and he was like shit talking one of us, and the whole team just like bags on him. Is like, really? You're bagging on our Strange? You've got no kills, 2 assists, and 20 deaths.
It's
Like,
called psychological warfare. It's a thing. I don't. But
yeah, I don't know. People are fucking wild.
I have to keep in mind at all times playing this game that the average age is probably 13 years. We're the weird.
Yeah.
So I just got to keep that in mind. People are just saying wild shit.
Oh my god, in ranked it's so much. I had a guy like, how do you guys suck so much? I quit playing Call of Duty for this, and I'm like, well, that explains why you suck at your job.
God, the amount of times, Lucy, you would understand this. Like the amount of times I, as healer, am like walking towards the objective and healing people, and then everyone just goes off to have this battle of attrition in a side room. It's like, I should not be the only one here at the objective. What are we doing?
Oh yeah, no, constantly in ranked. I'm the one pushing the objective, and then they all die, and I'm like, why can't you get the objective? God, your Loki sucks. And I'm like, I'm not supposed to take damage, you dickhead.
Right. I'm not supposed to take damage, but also the team's objective is the important thing to win and not kills. Like, sorry. I'm over here not getting MVP. I'm just sitting here healing you all, and then you go off on the side and I see your little silhouette turn yellow. It's like, you're over there. There's like 3 layers of walls between me and you. Good luck, man. I don't know what to do. But but I'm having a lot of fun. Even when things like go bad, like I'm having a lot of fun.
Yeah, it's definitely a interesting game because like as stressful as it can be, it's so much fun.
Yes.
And that's a good like balance on a game. Like they've got I needed this game.
Yeah.
That's
it's
I needed a game where I could have fun.
It is intense, but it's like it's intense, and then like Jeff swallows me and 5 other people. It's like disastrous for us, and I can't help but laugh. I can't help but laugh at being swallowed up by Jeff and being thrown off the side. It's like, well, this fucking sucks. It just I don't know. There's something really fun and lighthearted while being intense at the same time about this game. Normally I can't keep I can't comprehend everything going on in the game, and it's the game still pushes me, but like this game in particular, it's like I feel like I get it in a sense that I normally don't. So it's been game's a good time.
I do have my own like personal meta that me and my friend found out can be a very lethal combination. Is me running as Loki and him as the Hulk. We ran a couple of matches where he didn't die a single time because I kept healing him, and he kept on the objective, and just kept beating everyone and throwing them off of the map, and it was a pretty lethal because especially the Hulk having like pretty much 2 lives instead of 1.
Right.
He'd turn into Banner, pull back a little bit, and I just keep heals on him, and then he'd transform again, and then they would run away from him.
Yep.
And then he'd turn into monster form, and you just see Hulk like pick up everyone else and just slam them down. And most people, I feel like most people don't know how to play the Hulk. I've never actually seen somebody actually do the Hulk's ultimate like finisher move.
Oh, that's interesting. Oh man,
yeah,
not even knowing it's there. I struggle with the Hulk, and part of it is because I jump into the team and then I don't have someone actively healing me, so I immediately turn to Bruce Banner. Like, well, this sucks.
Yeah, no, you definitely need a healer that is going to be on you. That is the huge difference with the Hulk,
which makes being a Hulk in a rando matches seem hard.
Yeah.
Well. That's awesome. We ran into a killer combo of Venom and Groot, where they were taking turns rooting you to the ground, and then they would just wail on you.
That's actually a good combo.
It is.
My Groot can be so good. I feel like this is just about anybody that or like any character. They can be absolutely the best or the worst.
Yeah.
And with Groot, especially playing with a group that doesn't know what they're doing, is absolutely atrocious because they put up walls right in front of us and we're trying to push the objective.
Right.
Now we can't get to the objective.
Right. Yes. No, but then you run into a good group and you're out healing your guys, and then they summon a wall between you and the people you're trying to heal. Like, damn, they know.
Yeah.
Yeah. We ran into a good Black Widow last night. It was crazy.
Really?
Yes. I was blown away. I want Bronson to well, actually, I guess I have the access to the replay too. I want to pull that replay and see what's on, because yeah, it was a good Black Widow, which you just don't see.
Well, Black Widow has a lot of potential.
Yes.
Even I played at her, and I know that once you get the headshot, that's it. But she's got some mean combos.
Sure.
If you go in with a kick and then bounce back with the grappling hook, pull in for another attack, and then just hip shot. It's almost like an instant KO.
Okay.
For most characters.
Yeah, I'll have to take a look at that, because everyone's been comparing her to Hawkeye, and it's like, well, okay, if you're going to snipe, then you should just be Hawkeye. But if she has other uses, if you have to use her differently, and the problem is everyone's trying to use her as a sniper purely, then maybe that's the issue there.
Yeah, she's definitely got some pretty neat combos if used correctly, because she's proficient in combat, close-up combat and far away.
Yeah.
The sniper rifle's great and all for far away shots, but most people that play her that are just using her as a sniper just don't know how to use her close quarters combat.
Right.
Which she's very good at.
Yeah. I'm gonna keep playing this game.
Yeah.
I don't know about you. I'm gonna keep playing. This game is good.
I'm definitely gonna keep playing.
Yeah. Lucy, what else
have you been playing? Have you put in?
How many hours? Probably less than 40. Last I checked. Because I put in a total of 32 hours.
I think. Let's see. On Steam, I put in about 20 hours, or almost 15. But on the console, I think I'm clocking at but just about 60, maybe 70.
Yeah.
Damn.
I think Bronson's hours are somewhat similar. It's just, for me, it's like I put the pressure on me to heal well, and so in this competitive, I get home from work and I'm like, do I want to go jump into this? Not really. And then it ends up not happening. I want to play with friends rather than just being a rando person. That ends up being Saturday night. It's like, great. All right, cool. So yeah, that's good time. Let me pull up our list of what we've been playing. Lucy, you finished Wolfenstein: The New Order. How is it?
I did. I loved it. It's that whole set of games has always been one of my favorites to play as, but it has been so many years that I've had this game and never actually beat it. I've gotten up maybe 4 hours in and then always wind up getting sidetracked. So I made it a point that this month I'm going to really work on my backlog. So I'm going to be playing the second game this week, or start it this week after I get through Batman Origins. And a few other games. Wolfenstein is amazing. It is so fun. The last boss had me struggling though.
Sure.
But it was a lot of fun. The story is even if it's definitely a more mature game, that's for sure. There are moments and why it gets its mature rating, the combat and certain scenes. But I absolutely love this game, and I started this because because Doom Dark Ages is coming out early next year, so I want to get through the entire storyline. I'm also going to try and get a hold of what is it, Captain? There's another game that's a part of the whole franchise, but they're all connected because the main character in Wolfenstein is the great grandfather of the Doom guy.
Oh.
Yeah, it's
talking about
all the
Commander
same.
Keen?
Yeah, Commander Keen. He's
Yeah.
the son of BJ.
Like that?
Something like, or maybe it's grandson.
I have no idea. I ain't keeping track of that.
I don't know either, but like it's funny because like if you read certain dossiers or something like that, or there's like side comments, like you're like, huh, this is starting to make sense on why this is connected to so and so. Like there's certain personality uh identifiers that are like, so this explains why Doom Guy is so insistent on taking down his enemy. Like BJ is very good at what he does, and he like refuses to die at any moment to everything he goes through in the storyline, just like the Doom Guy.
Right.
So like I was really happy with it. I mean it is an older game and all that, but I finally finished it. Now I get to go on to the second one.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if I'm going to go back and try to 100% it, but
yeah,
it was worth the it was worth finally getting through it. I got through it in like about like 10 hours.
Yeah.
So it was
Wow.
nice to actually have like a 10-hour game. Yeah.
Perfect length.
I mean, each level is about an hour-ish.
It's nice.
Or,
yeah.
I mean, it's story. It's not on a little. It's a little bit more on the rails than a lot of games I play, but that's fine.
Yeah.
I got through the story. Sure, I can go around and collect everything, but I look forward to the second one. The second one is based in Americas, and it's quite a bit newer, so it'll be fun to get into. And then after that, I'm going to head to Doom 2016. I'll be playing it on the PC this time, and then Doom Eternal, and then hopefully Doom the Dark Ages.
Yeah. Oh man, Doom 2016 and Doom Eternal, just so good.
Yeah.
Ridiculous.
Yes.
All right. Well, that's fantastic. I'm excited to hear about your progress through all of that goes on. Looking forward to Dark Ages for sure.
Absolutely. I've gotten a couple of my friends to start playing the Doom games. And I've gotten a couple other people. I was like, well, if you want the whole storyline and you want like games that have the same combat, because they all actually play a lot the same. You've got your weapon wheel, you've got certain abilities that all of them seem to have. It's apparently hereditary at this point.
Sure.
So a couple of them are going to give those games a try.
Yeah, that's awesome.
And yeah, they're very well written. Bethesda does very well when they're actually putting effort into things. I mean,
I
can't think of anything they've really done bad on except for 76, but even 76 has pulled itself around.
You're referring to all of Bethesda and everything that's happening within it. They've had Redfall.
Oh yeah, I forgot that existed.
Yeah. They've had a few games, but yeah, they try to. And then I don't know anything about Starfield in terms of fighting, but yeah.
Well, I mean,
sorry, go ahead.
Oh, I was just gonna say, like that time period where they did Wolfenstein, Doom 2016, New Colossus, that whole time period was actually a lot of their good games. They had Fallout 4 during that too.
Yep. Yeah.
That was a good period of Bethesda.
It really was. So yeah, did you play anything else?
I didn't play any more Steel Hunters as of today. The beta's done and over with.
I never got a chance to go in myself, so how it happened.
Yeah, I had fun with it. I look forward to actually being able to access it as when it finally comes out. Other than that, I've been playing a gacha game, which this is probably the only week I can mention that I've been playing one.
Yeah, so let's talk about it.
I haven't spent any money except the battle pass, which was like $5.
Okay.
It's a Game Loft game called Asphalt United. I've been playing. Yeah, I've been playing it on the PlayStation. I've been going after. I wanted a not too serious racing game, and this one was free to play.
Okay, all right. Is it Asphalt Legends Unite?
Yeah, Asphalt. Yeah, Legends Unite. I've been playing it on the PlayStation. It kind of like at first, and I'm like, at first couple of races, I was like, oh, I'm not liking this. But then they introduced like vehicle combat part of it, and I'm like, this is like Burnout Legends or Burnout Revenge.
So this is a racing gotcha game?
Yeah,
Huh.
you collect cards to unlock more cards,
Okay.
and you can buy the cards to unlock the cars. They've got a couple like the store interface is mainly just cards to upgrade your cars, unlock cars.
Huh.
But I only got the battle pass.
Right.
I'm looking for like a really easy, simple platinum to get. Plus, this is what I play when I'm like winding down or I'm waking up. This is the first game I play. I go in, do my dailies, and then I get off, and I won't touch it until I'm going to bed.
Okay. Interesting.
It's a pretty fun game for racing. I mean, it's not like highly detailed like Need for Speed or anything like that. You could definitely tell that it's a bit like a mobile game. I mean, Asphalt has always been more of a mobile game. I've played
Okay.
a few of them, but this one's it's more polished than other ones. It's a lot of fun as long as you're looking for like a not too intense racer. It's arcadey, so you're
Cool.
not going to get like not every car handles the same, but not every car is so finely tuned like Gran Turismo
Right.
that like, oh, this definitely feels like what it'd be like driving a Ferrari versus a Honda Civic. Like, depending on how upgraded the cars are, they all kind of drive the same way. Um, it's got ranked multiplayer that I've been playing. Uh, it's
That seems all
it's a
right.
pretty
It's reviewing it very
yeah
positive.
yeah. I mean, it's definitely worth like a try if you just want a simple racer.
We don't have a whole lot of simple racers coming
Yeah.
out too much, so that's all right. That's interesting. Cool.
It pulls from a lot of games I've noticed. There's one level where it's like a hurricane off the coast, and there's like this ship, this like container ship just like lifting out of the ocean while you're driving through, and there's a blizzard area where it's like pushing you off the road so you can't take certain jumps. Yeah, it's got a level with like a where like some kind of earthquake is going on and the whole bridge just collapses as you're driving through it. It
Okay.
kind of yes.
Reminds me of a certain
And
game
then
that needs a sequel. Friggin' Split
oh
Second.
yes, Split
Ugh.
Second was so good.
Split Second was
I
great.
love that game.
All
Yeah, it's
right.
also got like levels where you have to escape the cops as well. So it's got a lot of borrowing uh, from other games.
Yeah,
It's fun.
which makes
I like
sense.
it.
That's cool. Okay, I may check this out if I find the time. I may check this out.
Yeah.
That's cool. Okay,
And
awesome.
it's pretty.
And it looks
It's
pretty.
really pretty. It is surprising on how pretty it looks.
That's cool. Man. Okay. All right. I have to stop looking at this. All right. That's awesome. Emily, have you played any new video games or old video games? Have you played?
Let's see. I was gonna say, speaking of Game Loft Racers,
Uh-huh.
new season of Speedstorm just came out
Okay.
with The Incredibles.
Oh, all right.
Oh,
You been playing that or
I haven't played much onto that yet. I'm
okay.
probably gonna do that either today or sometime this week. I did the Winter Wonder level for Astrobot.
Okay. How was it?
So cute, so fun. All the Christmas cheer is in one giant level,
Hmm. That's great.
and the best characters are in this one.
Okay. Oh,
Hold on, let me pull up that
I need to
list
hear
real
this
quick.
list. say best characters and then leave it. You say Olaf, I swear to God.
No.
I need to get back into that game. That was a fun one.
You enjoyed that game too, Lucy?
I enjoyed it. I do enjoy my racers. It's funny because like last week I mentioned that I bought Horizon 4. And I've got the whole steering wheel and shifter set up. I've got the PlayStation version, so I can use it with my PlayStation and my PC.
Nice.
Which, unfortunately, since it's the PlayStation version, tends to have issues with the Microsoft apps, which is annoying.
Yep.
Beyond belief. But since I got it through Steam, I have no issues. So I'll probably be playing a lot more racers. There's a couple of them on the Steam sales that I may check out.
Yeah, hell yeah. Emily, you got the names?
I do have the bots.
Okay.
Rayman.
Oh.
Gex.
Oh man, okay.
Tomba.
Okay.
A lot of really like obscure old school characters. Let's see. Worm.
Oh wow, all right.
Croc.
Yeah. Okay. Rystar.
And my 2 Spider-Men, Peter Parker and Miles Morales.
Nice. Awesome. That's cool, all right.
So, yes.
I was expecting holiday-themed characters, so all right.
But you do get holiday-themed suit right as you start the level.
Okay.
So you have like the Santa hat and the red and white jacket. It's the cutest shit in the world.
Nice. Oh yeah. All right. Anything else?
That's about it, really.
Okay. Cool. Well,
at least for now.
Yeah, for now, for this week. So the only other 2 games I played some Helldivers. I tried out the Illuminate.
Oh, how was that? I downloaded it that night, but other than popping in to see how everything looked, I didn't even launch a game. How do you like it?
I mean, it's more Helldivers. I'm into it. They have these units are more kind of zombies, so they'll be shuffling towards you, and
like Walking Dead shuffling or like LMFAO shuffling.
I'm not well versed in LMFAO, so I'm going to say it's zombie shuffling.
Every day I'm shuffling.
Nope. Nope. Dwarf Wolf Dad says they are difficult. Oh my gods, they are difficult. You can definitely, it's like zombies, if you leave too many of them out there coming for you, it gets out of hand. It's like, oh, here's a few shumbling. Why do I keep saying shumbling? New word. Put it in their dictionary.
All right. I'm on it.
There, a few of them shuffling towards you, you can take care of them easy. But if you don't take care of them, and more come, it's like, oh no. They have these like War of the Worlds walkers that you need to aim for weak points with like rocket launchers and shit. Tripods are nuts. They are. They will snipe you. It's you see those guys walking around. It's like you have to take care of them right now or run. Like and with this new edition, you get city areas. So here's just like straight up, some 6-story buildings. So like if there is one of these walking around, you can use them as cover for a little bit. You're navigating streets as zombies kind of move through. And then there's you have to throw grenades into. They have like UFO saucers that are setting down, and they will be spawn points for the smaller enemies. It's just like with automatons, they got the big factory making stuff. It's the same thing. It's just a UFO saucer. Here's a door. Throw the grenade. Hope an enemy doesn't pop out right at that moment and bounce off their face and back at you.
I've had too many funny deaths because of that.
Yes. Dwarf Wolf Dad, the disintegration beam is literally a one-hit kill. It's a strong mother. So that beam comes at you from the tripod. It's like, all right, don't touch me or I'm going to have to be respawned. And But I'm having a good time with it. It's the same old Helldivers. Just an absolute blast. Everyone is just doing the best they can with what they got, and we are just gonna run for the objective and just keep doing our best. And yeah, it's more Helldivers. So if you want to play some Helldivers, it's there. They got a new faction doing the same stuff but different.
See how long it takes us to get the cyborgs.
Right. Yeah, if they just now got the Illuminate, who knows? I'm guessing sometime next year, but we'll see.
Well, if Sony stays out of their business, I'm sure they'll get it done sooner than
that would be nice.
Later.
That would be nice. Yeah, we should get tags for. I don't know. I'm not the one running Super Gamecraft anymore. It's something that's definitely left to Bronson, but it would be cool if we started like setting up tags for different video games. I wonder if there's a limit on the amount of tags you can create in Discord.
It's just doing roles, right?
That's all it is roles.
Yeah, I don't think there's a limit. I'm still learning how to do it,
right.
As far as my channel, because I think I've got one. I've got one for Marvel Rivals, Lockdown Protocol, Black Ops. I need to do a Helldivers one for sure.
Yeah, Helldivers is
and then I've got one for Golf with Your Friends.
Oh, nice. Oh yeah. All right. Yeah, no, I think it would be a good idea if we started setting up a bunch of roles for different games that our community is playing. But we'll just have to talk about that later. But yeah, Helldivers 2. And then last game I played, I've gotten back into, unfortunately, is Zenless Zone Zero, my own gacha game. And what happened was I had stopped playing for a while, and then Bronson was talking about his thoughts on gacha games, and we were talking.
I love how both of us went our own separate ways on that.
Yeah.
I was going to say, of which he has many thoughts.
Many thoughts. And I understand those thoughts.
You can have those thoughts at the Denny's.
So I was sharing, like, here's where I struggled with Zenless Zone Zero, because I actually have a number of problems with Zenless Zone Zero, and I'll get into those in a second. But at some point he said, and the combat's not even good, and I was like, well, hold on. The action combat itself is actually pretty fun, and we were just had a fundamental disagreement on that. And he asked me about like what I think is like the best combat. I was like, well, I'll think about that. I'll get back to you. And I thought about that, and I didn't really have much of an answer other than, like, to me, when it comes to action games, the action just needs to be good enough, and then it goes to, like, you know, do I enjoy the characters? Do I enjoy the world and the art style and the music? Does it come together to make a great game? Like, as long as the action's good enough, it needs to meet a certain bar, and I'm happy. But anyway, in thinking about that, I was like, let me boot up Zenless Zone Zero again and see what's happening. And now I'm doing my dailies. Now I'm staying on top of it, and I'm earning currency, and I'm back in it. Because the combat itself is, in my opinion, a lot of fun. It does not have the depth of a Devil May Cry or a Bayonetta. It is definitely more simple, but I kind of like that. I like having something on the second screen and just like, I'm gonna do my thing, and like I'm fighting guys, and it just feels good. It just feels good to do. I like a lot of the characters, a lot of the more older characters. This leads into some of my problems, where they've been introducing new characters, and these new characters are just anime character, which is like my problem with Genshin Impact and Honkai Star Rail. It's like, that looks like an anime character, and they got some decent designs as far as their outfits and stuff. But like, you go to Zenless Zone Zero, and you're looking at Billy, you're looking at Sokaku, who is just this blue Oni demon girl who's all about food. You got Koleda, who is just this tiny girl with this crazy bushy red hair with a giant hammer. They just have a very interesting art style that really fits with the world they've created. And then the last few, they've just been like, what if we just made anime character with, you know, with a nice outfit? And it's like, well, wait a minute. You're getting away from the thing that makes Zenless Zone Zero stand out. I don't know. The plus is that it's a gacha game, and if I don't want to play that character, I just don't roll for them, and so I'm just saving the currency to roll on a character that I want. And then they've been with these updates, they've been adding a bunch of stuff, but one of them is like they keep adding new game modes. So now in this latest update, they have these little like bunny guys that run around, and they help you in the main combat of like throwing out heals or maybe some extra damage here and there. But it's like just a little add-on thing to manage. Yet another thing to level and collect currency for and keep you engaged. But they have now created a tower defense mode where you go in and you place these little bunny characters and they just do damage to things that walk past, and you get some rewards for it, and that's fine. But this has happened a number of times now where it's like, I'm not here to play this. This isn't what I'm here for. What you're doing is creating a mode for me to collect more resources so that I can roll more on these characters. And I get that. I get that you're creating more opportunity to earn these other currencies, but this is not why I'm playing the video game. I'm not here to play. I didn't play Zenless Zone Zero to have my little character move around on the TV map. That's fine on its own. But I'm there to do the combat. We're here to fight guys, defeat 3 people, and then move into the next room and defeat 3 people and move into the next room. And that's what I'm here for, to fight some guys. And there's just these other modes they keep introducing. And it's like, I'm not here for this. You are just creating more modes for me to go get more currency, which then feeds more into this system, which is like my largest problem with the game, is that it is very, very apparent that this is all in service of a system to keep you engaged with earning currency just enough to make you think you're making progress, but not enough that you don't feel like you should buy the premium currency with real money. And it just makes it so apparent in all the ways it does that. And so it's this love-hate relationship right now. I love the world they've made. I love the characters they made. I think the story is written not well. I think they're written for like a kid's TV show, which is, whatever. I play video games. We're playing Marvel Rivals. This targets 10-year-olds. Like, not like I'm above this. It's just I kind of wish there was more. But
I don't know. Those character models aren't necessarily saying.
Well, that's the thing. Yes, people like to talk about like they're not beating the Gooner allegations. Let me tell you, man, there are some rewards in this game. It's like, this is not a subtle thing. This is not something they are trying to hide. So yeah, but that's like the twisted, messed up thing, right? Like, here's this story that's would not be out of place on like a Saturday morning cartoon. Like, it's not enough for me. I am skipping cutscenes because as much as I love these characters, I don't care that much for the story anymore.
It sounds like they're trying to do a story easy to comprehend.
Yes,
but make it so, all right, these characters can be applied to just about any age group, even older guys that have certain interests.
Yes. And I will say the latest story, I've only played the first bit of it. There's 3 other small chapters within this chapter that I've yet to play, but they are doing the thing where they had introduced these different factions of characters over the last few chapters, and this chapter is where they're all starting to come together and interact with each other. And there was like a betrayal that happened, and it's like, whoa, okay, all right, okay, But like on top of the simple writing, the voice acting, it's one of the main problems with dubs is that it's very over exaggerated, which adds to that childlike feel to the characters in the story, and it rubs me the wrong way. But so sometimes I'm skipping past the story, just whatever. Sometimes I'm not. They keep trying to make me play cops, and I don't wanna. Quit that. This is a story about doing illegal shit. We're proxies. We're going into the hollow, which we're not supposed to be in, and we're doing jobs. And you're wanting me to play the cop, which they're successful in doing when they make it a hot mouse lady. But otherwise, stop it. They got 9 criminals, either criminals or like motorcycle gang people. They have 8 working class people who are Bellabog Industries who do construction, and 4 people who are like maids and butlers. And then they got 9 cops. 4 of them are just like a special operations group. One's like a fox lady samurai, really powerful, but I'm not playing her. Screw it. There's one cop guy I'm actually really into because his whole thing is he's trying to skip work and trying to get out of work early, which is like my spirit animal. He goes a little far. One of his other things is he likes to take medication, not because he's sick, but because certain medication has certain side effects that may make him actually sick, so he can skip work. He's a little much. So Kaku, the blue Oni demon girl who loves food, is a cop. It's sad because I love her. I love her to death. And then there's the other group, which has hot mouse lady Jane Doe. Everyone loves Jane Doe. I can't. And then there's innocent boy Seth, who's a cat boy, who really believes in, being good police. And everyone loves Seth. They ship Jane and Seth together, which is cute. And then there are 2 others that I am blanking on at this moment, and they're the cops, so I don't care anymore. But yeah, so I don't know. There's interesting stuff in this game. I'm gonna keep playing. I don't feel any urge to pay premium currency. They're trying to get me to pay $3 for this, $5 for that. And I'm not doing it. I don't have to. A lot of the coolest characters have come out already. But then I downloaded Genshin Impact and played for 1 hour, and I was like, these are all the systems of Zenless Zone Zero, which is really Zenless Zone Zero is using all the systems of Genshin Impact, but it's in this anime Breath of the Wild setting. And I'm like, I'm good. You know what? Nope. Uninstall. I got my one gacha game, which makes it more baffling to me that we know people on our Discord that are playing, 3 or 4. 3 of them being of the same system. I'm like, I can't. If you really like those characters in that world, then that makes sense. But as someone who's like engaging with the same system across all 3 of these, I'm like, I don't know. I couldn't do it. I got my one. I'm fine. So yeah, that's what I've been playing. And unless anyone else has anything else to say, yeah. What's up?
Hopefully, make it this week without falling for the gotcha.
I'm 90% certain I will get through without paying a cent. The premium character that they have marketing is the Fox Lady Samurai, who while playing well in the demo I played, is not in my. I'm not interested. So I'm saving up the currency from just playing the other modes, and it's fine. Dwarf Wolf Dad said, I just beat Space Marines the other day before surgery. Since then, I haven't really touched my PC. Today is kind of the first day I touched it. Space Marines 2? Because that game's great. I finished that campaign a little bit ago. And that's a good time. Space Marines 1 is okay. If you want to have in your head just orcs shouting Space Marine over and over again, that's what Space Marine 1 is. Let's see. Before that, I have been sucked into the trading card shop sim, which I modded to sell DBZ stuff. That's awesome.
Everyone is playing that game, and I'm like, oh, this is like one of the very few times that I may actually fall into this and buy it just so I can play it like everybody else. That way I can talk shop with everyone.
I didn't realize there was a modding scene for that. Being able to be a trading card DBZ shop. That sounds amazing. I understand how it can be addicting because I played the arcade simulator that was on Game Pass. And you start out as a laundromat, and you start making, start putting more and more games in, and you're charging prices and stuff. And man, they get those gameplay loops down, man. Like regardless of the content, it's just like, shit, they're doing good. All right, man. Well, I'm looking forward to one of us eventually playing this trading card simulator. It seems like it's gonna happen at some point.
Yeah, it does seem like it's gonna happen. I mean, it's not even that expensive either. It's just like. The one thing stopping me is like, everyone else is playing it. It's only going to be a phase. By the time I get it, nobody's going to be talking about it. But like, it keeps going and going, and I'm like, oh, okay,
yeah.
$12.
Yeah,
that's not too bad.
Too bad.
Considering.
Too bad. All right. I think we're gonna call that for a show. Thank you everyone who joined us for the conversation. Hope you enjoyed. Thank you to Emily and Lucy for joining me for this Bronsonless show. We will be back next week. I think Bronson's going to do something, but we have the day. We'll see what happens. Keep tabs.
I'll be here.
You'll be here?
I told him that, yeah, I don't really do much for the holidays as it is.
Yeah.
Mostly because everyone else has stuff to do and family to go see. And it's just easier to leave me here so I can take care of all the ranch animals and make sure the horses don't get out.
That's a good call.
Which, unfortunately, in today's situation, I was asleep. There's not much I could do about a horse rolling under the fence and just standing there and eating away.
Correct.
But,
All right. Dwarf Wolf Dad is offering his services. I will forward that message to Bronson and see what happens. Yeah, absolutely. We love interacting with the community and working with them to do stuff. So, but yeah, I think that's a show. Thank you everyone for joining us. Keep tabs. Feel free to join the Discord if you haven't already. That's where we keep everyone updated on all of our stuff. So, yeah. Thank you everyone. Have a great rest of your weekend, rest of your week. Bye.
Bye.